Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Buongiorno, I should say, Tatiana. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Buongiorno to you.
As you know, that's probably the limit of my Italian, as Maria knows. Not much of a linguist, but there we go. Great to have you on. We've got Tatiana from Treedom. Treedom is an organisation we're going to learn a little bit more about today. They've been a great partner with us for the last few weeks, and we're looking to continue the relationship in the years to come. And we've got Maria, who you've probably seen before, from our UK office. Maria, good morning.
Good morning, James. Good morning, Tatiana. Buongiorno, Tatiana.
Good morning.
Italian on my side as well. Apologies. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you. And we were discussing yesterday, Tatiana has got the best background out of all of us, and it's not a green screen. That is a real background.
It's real green.
Yeah. And whereabouts in Italy are you, Tatiana?
Treedom is based in Florence, in Firenze. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Firenze, I love it.
Yeah, this is now the best time of the year, in my opinion. Spring is approaching, and we can enjoy the outdoors.
Oh, that's good. And a marked difference, Maria, from us in the UK, although it is a little bit sunnier today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit sunny indeed, James. So we should go for a nice break at midday, maybe cycling, something like that. You're very keen on doing it, aren't you?
Well, that was the smoothest invitation to a date, Maria, but I'll take it. That's fantastic. Socially distanced, of course. Well, cycling's important. You know, it's good for losing weight. Funnily enough, it has some environmental benefits as well, which is what we're going to talk about today, probably at some point. One of the things I wanted to open with, and we've been talking about it internally, Maria, is what does sustainability mean? We've asked pretty much everybody in the company that question. Clients, prospects, people not in our industry, we've asked. But Tatiana, I'll throw the question on you, given you're the subject matter expert in the room. What does sustainability mean to you?
To me personally, I think it's a comprehensive approach to all your life, and it's thinking about the others before yourself, your own interests. So finding different tools and different approaches to your everyday things. It can be work or private life to generate the lowest impact possible on whatever you do, and preserving the future for our fellows in the world, either inwards or also our families. Yeah, I take it kind of personally.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. And Maria, what about you?
Well, I think that sustainable development or sustainability is the ability to achieve a consistent balance between the environment, society, and the economy, of course. Societal expectations have never been that high. Now they include transparency, they include accountability. That's very, very important. So the pressure is growing for more stringent legislation to meet the needs for a better and environmental friendly future, and I hope we'll get there.
Yeah, cool. I liked, Tatiana, you said finding new ways or different ways. I think that's important because a lot of people that are new to sort of exploring what they can do to be sustainable or be a bit more environmentally friendly, they think there's a one-size-fits model, when you've got this structure that you absolutely have to abide by, but it's not the case at all, is it? You have to find your own way with your own life and circumstances, what you can change. And
I think it's a matter of starting, with baby steps, allowing small changes into your life. It can either be a new way to commute to the office, even though now we're all working from home mostly. But as I did a few years ago, I switched from a private vehicle to the public transport, and then I switched to a bike at the end. Or sometimes some days I just take my time and do a walk. So you do two activities in one. You're not polluting, and at the same time you're keeping your body healthy. And then it's about being aware of the things you do and the impact you can have, even with your groceries. Just try to shopping at the local farmers market instead of a huge supermarket that imports fruit from the other side of the world. So it's small things, but if we all start doing that, of course, we can go in.
Yeah, indeed. I completely agree. And as Tatiana, I started using public transport, and then I commute to the office when we work at the office using my bike. How about you, James?
Yeah, I'm obviously very much into my food. That's a fairly physical thing to be able to see. So I kind of started there with mine, and I'm absolutely nowhere near where I'd want to be with it. But trying to shop locally, but just looking at more where your food comes from. One of the best examples I've got is some fish we were buying from a well-known supermarket. And I thought, yeah, this is really nice. It's very healthy. It's tasty. It's good. And you look on the reverse, and it's from Vietnam. And us in the UK that's unacceptable, really, to take that in so far. So it was making those changes, switch to a locally sourced fish, and that's kind of continued with everything else we're doing. It's just about being aware. I think, Ian, Tatiana, the way you explore it, it's like layers of a cake. You've got those small layers that we can influence as individuals, but you've got those really strong layers that comes down to businesses and organizations. And I think for them, they can't take such small steps. Those need to be a little bit more substantial, don't they, and a bit more urgent than what I think the rest of us are doing.
However, if you think about it, also companies are made of people. So if the change starts from single individuals, they can be the advocates, the ambassadors of change in companies. So from our experience, many of our collaborations with companies started with a very enthusiastic person willing to bring the change into the company. So of course, then you need to escalate that to a higher level, to a bigger commitment by the companies. But overall, it all starts with people. Yeah.
That's a good point, because we were only introduced to each other, Tatiana, because I'd reached out as individuals thinking this is a good idea. Let's look at it. So that is a really good point. I like that a lot. And I think now's probably a good time to explain Treedom. It's a very good name as well. It's probably one of the better ones out there for what you guys are doing. Fairly self-descriptive. How long have you been with Treedom for, Tatiana? What sort of led you to that career?
Me personally, I joined the company 2 years ago, but Treedom itself exists for the last 10 years. So we opened in 2010. And actually, the idea of our founder was pretty funny, because he was playing an online game called Farmville. I'm sure you're all aware of it. And he was investing in this digital farm, actually to hit on a girl that was also playing on the game. And one day he just thought, why am I planting fake trees when I can to grow my digital forest when I can plant the real ones and make them accessible digitally as well. So this is in a nutshell how Treedom was born. And so, yeah, since then we started planting trees and having the digital alter ego for them. And the name is, I agree, it's quite catchy. It brings together, I'm sorry?
Sorry for cutting. I said love is everything, isn't it? So
very clearly, yeah.
That's true.
Very clearly.
Yeah, I have to tell you that the love story didn't happen at the end, but our CEO is still friends with this girl, and he also attended her wedding. So there's a happy ending anyway, and the company started. So that's the best ending, actually.
Yeah, I like that all round. And we were really drawn to Treedom to be able to basically build our goals. I'm not going to say achieve. We were building our goals at that point for how we as a company wanted to strengthen our credentials and actually give back to the environment. I try and use the word give back because it gives us an awful lot. So that's our way of giving back in one small part. Probably a good time, Tatiana, if you wanted to maybe go through Treedom in a bit more detail about what they offer. And I know we've got those slides as well, haven't we?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna share my screen in a sec.
I think we're dealing with bandwidth from here to Italy, so that's pretty good.
Indeed.
Yeah, I apologize for some interruptions. All right. So, I wanted to mention that Treedom, of course, we are an Italian company, but we basically operate globally. And in 2014, we were one of the first companies in Italy to join the benefit corporation movement. So we have been certified since 2014, and every 2 years we're getting recertified, and we had our last confirmation last year. So we're also proud to be sort of pioneers in this group of companies, doing profit, but also for good. And I would love to start off with a video that I think that explains us in the best way possible. So if can we please play?
Dear future, we can't stop thinking about you. We dream about you. We imagine you will be green and beautiful. You don't know us yet, but we have decided to do everything we can to get to know you. We have decided to absorb CO2 and to offer protection to insects and animals, to create income opportunities and guarantee food security, passing on skills, and reducing economic and gender inequality. We have decided to plant trees.
All
That's
right.
really powerful. And
Yeah.
probably a lot of people, especially when we were rolling out the program for Treedom, they didn't realize it wasn't just trees. It wasn't just a random tree. We were giving income to people. We were giving stability to people, which I'm sure you'll talk about a little bit more.
Yeah, so that's actually the main point, that we try, of course, by planting trees to achieve an environmental goal, which is either global but also local. But at the same time, we try to to grow trees and working with communities, so they are actually the first beneficiaries of the initiative. And so there is actually two goals, and that is stated here. Our vision is to make the world a greener and better place for everyone. So people are really at the center of the project, along with trees, of course. And as I said, now we are trying to switch from an idea of simply tree planting, which can sometimes be imagined as, just putting a seed there and wait for it growing, to a tree growing approach. So looking at the long term, generating an impact that will stay, and having communities together with us on board of the project, and they are part of it. So it takes a lot to think about, okay, I'm gonna plant a tree, and then actually plant it and take care of them. It's a much more complex job that takes a lot of steps. And as I just said, people for us are the center of this initiative. So what we do is we scout for proper partners in the different areas of the world where we are active. They are usually NGOs or farmers cooperatives. And the first step is build a relationship with them. So this is usually the longest step in the process of setting up a new project for us. And because we want the community to be part of the entire process, going from picking the proper species, deciding on the proper mix of and the agroforestry system that we will use, where we're going to build a nursery, who is going to be trained in the local community to take care of the saplings until they are ready to be planted. And usually there is this very nice moment of the trees that are actually distributed between the farmers, which will then plant the trees in their own land, in their own orchards. And this is usually a party. So it's a moment where all the communities gathered around the nursery usually, and they play music, and they cook a lot, and the trees are then assigned to the farmers. So it's a really incredible moment, and it gives back to us also in terms of what we're doing for the people, and not only for the planet.
Absolutely. And this truly international, because
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but we are active.
With our partnership, we're looking, I think, 3 or 4.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, we're in 3 or 4 countries ourselves with Treedom out of our 13 markets. But you guys are truly international, aren't you, with this effort?
Yeah, we are right now. We have been working overall in 17 countries, but at the moment we're active in around 11. Most of them are in Africa, Central South America, and a couple in Asia. Because of course we are trying to activate projects in those areas where we can achieve the highest impact possible, both on the environmental side, so planting, growing the proper trees in the equatorial areas of the planet. Those are the locations where the species we can plant have the highest ability to absorb CO2. And it's also where it's mostly needed, because as we all know, climate change is actually hitting more on those parts of the planet, even though mostly of the cause it's generated from us in the northern hemisphere, but those areas are impacted way more by the climate change. And at the same time, we usually, going back to the people, we try to activate projects where, having a family owning 50 fruit trees can make a difference in their living and their ability, their economic status as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just popped on actually because that piqued my interest, Tatiana, because I think apart from the fact that it blew my mind when IMSM suddenly said, I was expecting them to donate 10 trees or something, and then I heard they were going to plant sort of a forest. And I thought, that's amazing. But what really sort of piqued my interest was the fact that it didn't just only have an impact on the CO2 in the environment, but there was economic development. There's also protection of the environment, and there's all these other impacts for local communities as well. So it was a very well-rounded, sustainable thing that you're doing. So it's just blown my mind. It's really, really interesting, and I'm just fully on board. I just think it's great. And I think I was looking the other day, and it was something like 500 million kilograms of CO2 you've absorbed by planting the trees. Yeah. It just again blew my mind.
Yeah, right now we have reached 1.7 million trees planted, but it took many years. So what we like to do is to keep the quality of the tree growing project that we started always really high. So we're not really thinking about the huge quantities, but growing trees on a quality level. And of course this takes a lot of time, and in the last 3 years we really grew a lot because of many companies joining and like you and supporting tree growing with us, but the methodology we try to bring along is scalable, but it requires a lot of effort. So just to give you an idea, as I said before, scouting for the right partner and agreeing on all the preliminary steps before the trees are actually planted can take even 1 year. And so it's a really long process. And right now we have projects running since the beginning, or like on our second year. But we're always trying to open new ones and bring benefits to new communities. Also in the same country, like in Tanzania, where some of the trees of IMSM are, we opened the first project with one partner, and now we have 4 or 5 with different partners in different areas of the same country. So it's a scalable approach, but what's most important for us is to always keep the methodology and bring in the effects to the local people. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. No,
we're not obsessed by the number of how many trees we're planting. We're more obsessed on the quality of the projects.
Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, we like the word quality. That's what we're in business to do. So that is massively important for us as an ISO consultant, because quality, That's a really weird word, isn't it? Someone help me out with that one. Doing
Methodology.
something in a methodical way. There we go. Doing something in a methodical way, that's the basis of ISO. So to actually have you guys practicing that is even better. It's a good fit.
Yeah, and I switched to this slide about the agroforestry system because I think it's something that is pretty unique and unexpected when we tell about how we do this. So you don't have to imagine trees planted by Treedom in like plantations or endless rows of trees, but it's because we try to adopt different agroforestry system according to the local environment, the local needs. It's usually a mix of green trees, fruit trees, with also the crops that the community is growing. And sometimes they also have animals, and some of the trees that we plant actually have the goal of providing forage for the animals. And it's always a mix. And this is also the good point we have with the communities to bring them on board of projects, because they can understand that we are providing free trees, because for them they're totally free. They will not bring anything in like the first years, of course. A baby tree is not bringing food and fruits, but on a long-term viewpoint, they will have some trees. They just have to take care of them. They are mixed within their, in their land with the crops, with the animals, but in a few years, they will be theirs and they will actually become a source of income, and they will increase their livelihood. So this is what we really want to do when we approach communities. And it's also part of, bringing an environmental approach somewhere where simply they don't know, because of scholarization and because they don't perceive the global scale of a simple thing like having a tree in their own land.
Absolutely. No, it's great.
So I've said it, I think, already, that the benefits can be, food security for local families, and the extra production, if it's fruit trees, can go and be sold on the market. So yeah, I'm not gonna repeat myself. And just to give you an idea, this is more or less the path of our project. So since we start the project, and there's all the steps to get the tree planted, and then what we do to be transparent, which is also really important to us, is that once the tree is planted, we take a picture of every single tree, and there is a GPS coordinate saved along with the picture. So this allows us to have a public register on the platform where you can go and search for all the trees. And it's also the starting point to tell the story. So as I said, there is an alter ego for every tree, a digital one, that is a page dedicated to every single tree where the information are filled up, starting with the unique picture and coordinates of the tree, and then going on telling the story of the project, of the people. If one of our forestry managers goes on a monitoring mission or goes there to, think about next year forestry plan, we just write down their comments, and we share them with the tree keepers that own a tree on the platform. So this is the process, more or less.
And that was a hugely powerful thing for us, is that level of interactivity. Because to kind of cap this off in a little bit, we're going to talk about why we as a company decided to do it. But one of the first things we've done, Tatiana, as you know, is gift about 80 or 75 or 80 trees to members of our staff in the UK across the 3 offices. And their feedback was the fact that they could see the tree physically. They know exactly where in one of the 3 or 4 countries that we were planting it. And as you say, they're getting those updates. That's massively powerful. And I think they feel a lot of belonging as soon as you start doing that. So absolute kudos for integrating that in the approach. I think it works really well.
Yeah, I think it's one of the key elements that we have, and that people both in the privates that are supporting trees on the platform. Me first, before joining Treedom as an employee, I was a huge fan, and I was supporting trees and giving them away to friends and family all the time. And the engagement on the platform was the thing that made me really support Treedom also on my private finances.
You were a consumer before.
Absolutely, I was a happy
Amazing.
consumer. Yeah. I have a lot of trees, and I was really obsessed and giving them away to everyone. And then one day, I had to do an internship before studies I was doing, and I approached Treedom asking if I could join as an intern, and here I am. So that's my story.
Fantastic. I love that.
And as well, on the corporate side, anytime consumers, but also employees are, given a tree by the company, it creates sort of another spot where you can be a community. So all of you together, you're owning a tree, and you're all together in the company forest. So it's a powerful tool, the storytelling that we can provide for the trees.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's really nice to know that you were actually a huge fan of Treedom before you started working for them.
Yeah. I gave a tree to a former co-worker as a gift for her birthday, and then it all started. Yeah, years ago. I think I have like 20 trees coming from my own pockets. Yeah.
I think when you're passionate about something, it tends to move forward quite rapidly, doesn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you a fun fact. The year before joining Treedom as a company, Christmas was approaching, and I was already thinking I'm gonna give trees to everyone. And then I went on Treedom, and I was looking for the Christmas limited editions that usually Treedom prepares for Christmas, and they weren't there. So I wrote to the customer care saying, "Will you do the Treedom limited editions for Christmas?" And they were like, "Yes, they're coming." And actually, 2 days later, the release was already planned, of course. So I was that into Treedom.
You were already making changes.
Yeah. And when I joined, I went back on that. It was, I think, a Facebook chat. I went back there and I said to my colleague, this was me coming to you in the customer care chat, asking for the limited editions.
It was obviously meant to be, Tatiana.
Yeah, it was. So here, as I said, you can have a visualization of what I was telling you, the unique page for hybrid tree. This is actually one of IMSM trees, and still waiting for the picture. So the tree is getting planted in these times. And to just going away from like the teeny tiny details, but on a more global scale, the overall projects of Treedom contribute to 10 out of the 17 global goals set by the UN, the SDGs. So this is also a way to let everyone understand that planting trees, growing trees, it's not only an environmental action, but if done properly, of course, but it can impact many other things in the planet.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So just to give you some numbers, it's actually, I should update it. I think we're almost at 1.8 million trees. And this is a ratio number counting the farmers. So we counted more or less every farmer that works with us receives 17 trees on an average. And so we have counted that so far we have impacted more than 100,000. And as I said before, the countries we work so far. Yeah, and of course I had to include the IMSM forest. So yeah, you supported 150 trees in 3 countries so far, and I hope we'll see it grow.
Yeah, I mean, we were really pleased as well, because IMSM, we're across 13 countries internationally, and to get 2 markets for us in Kenya and Tanzania is hugely important to our team down there and the clients as well. So we were really pleased that we were able to get those countries as well.
Wonderful. Okay, so I think I'm gonna close my presentation so I can see you again. I was speaking blind. Okay.
It was fascinating. It was really, really good, and just only just getting to know you since yesterday through James. Really, it's lovely to talk about it, and I'm glad you said hop on.
No, it was of course our pleasure to join the conversation.
Yeah, we had to get Carolyn on. She's our sort of green queen in IMSM, so that was good. No, fantastic, and this is a hugely important step for IMSM to take, and we're very pleased to be doing it with you, giving something back to our employees, but also our customers. We're really pushing this at our customers that are adopting the environmental and energy management standards, which is another step we were talking about earlier that companies can take, is actually looking at their management perspectives and how they manage their businesses. And these standards can be hugely beneficial towards what you guys are doing in the general fight for sustainability globally. So we're really looking forward to continuing the relationship, Tatiana. I'd urge anybody that is watching this or is going to watch it, have a look at Treedom and the work they're doing. It is fantastic. It's not too late to order some Mother's Day's trees, I would imagine. Mother's Day in the UK for next week, as well as any birthdays cropping up. So, yeah, hugely important and a great thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, I think
we haven't asked
talking to you guys.
What opinion of sustainability is. You haven't.
We were going through an anecdote about Vietnamese fish earlier, but I won't use that one again. Sustainability to me is just doing the right thing. It's giving back to the planet. You're not abusing resources. And if we can all get behind that, I think there's a huge range of benefits. And I think everybody grows with their sort of journey to it. They get a lot better. We all start very unsustainable. I would say that most human beings start very low. And I think they grow as they get older, or they get more experience. So great thing to do. That would be my short answer.
Thanks for sharing.
And Tatiana, I am going to wind you up again and say good luck for the rugby. I'm going to say it every time I speak to you. But we're yet to see a win, and
I admire the Italian team that keeps playing no matter they already know they're gonna lose all the matches. I don't know find the motivation to keep on playing. I was discussing it with my dad, who's a huge rugby fan. How they do it, I don't know. But
well, like I say, as a Bath fan, I can completely sympathise. We know what it feels like. Just keep plugging away.
Yeah, one day we will become.
Absolutely.
It's starting players from somewhere else, probably.
I think that's probably a good idea. Have an incredible rest of your day, everybody. It's still very sunny outside, so enjoy it, and thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Tatiana. Thanks, Caroline.
Cheers then.
Bye.
Bye to everyone.